Excellent.
Jessie, where are you? What is going on there? That is now you've read all of those books in that, or is that a fake background?
It's a fake background, but it's actually VHS tapes. So this
What?
is I'm at a different office, but this is my office at home behind me.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
really nice library. Like I want to go there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Where do you live?
I live in Houston. So yeah,
Oh,
like
I'll be right over.
so yeah, like so I have a 9-year-old and he's like fascinated with video stores. So we kind of like tried to bring that to him.
Oh my God.
oh,
You're
that
such
is
a cool
so.
dad. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he was
We're
like
gonna.
blockbuster down, kid. So we're gonna make this for you.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, how fun.
That
Yeah.
is the best. Can
Yeah,
we adopt them?
he's he's probably one of the only kids at his school that even knows what a VHS is. So
That's
it's pretty cool to like hear of him telling his friends because they have no idea.
wow.
That's
Wow,
that's
So
that's so.
let's get into the movie. I'm a big fan of all of you guys, and I'm really curious about the collaborative process between all of you because I mean this is an eclectic cast, if you will. So how did it go from like script to film, and ultimately how did you guys work together to kind of enhance the storytelling?
Well, I guess I'll start. But first of all, thank you, Brian. This is so. And I'm by the way, I'm pinching myself to be here with these extraordinary folks. I mean, like the fact that I got to work with, Brittany O'Grady, EJ Bonilla, and Alanna Ubach. I just like I it was kind of like fainting every day from excitement on set, and I still can't believe that we're here. But it really started. With my dear friend, collaborator, producer, and manager Aaron Cogan, who had the idea when he and I were in college. We made this little movie here, and and he had this idea and the seed of the idea, and he began developing with Stephen Klein, our other amazing producer, and then years later, and they brought in Mallory Westfall, the wonderful screenwriter. And years later, they brought to me like an early draft. And at that point, I had done theater in college, but I had moved on to, work in documentary. I was editing and directing documentaries. And he brought this film, and I was like, I don't know, Aaron, this is like genre. I don't know if I'm the right person for this. And he's like, no, this is exactly why you should do this. And when, I read this Mally's brilliant script, I saw an opportunity to do something that was different, that was actually really grounded and actually looked at our world. For me, documentary films are such a special, unique thing because they allow you to see life, see the world through the eyes and through a perspective that you would never have been able to see. I got to see, like making documentaries, I got to see life through the eyes of garbage pickers in Rio de Janeiro, where I'm from. I got to look at the world through the eyes of people experiencing homelessness in the West Coast. And that is a gift. That is an extraordinary gift. And for me, it was really important to kind of bring that ground because in our blood is not about some magical world. It is about our world today. It is, and we talked about that a lot as a group, as a team. We talked about addiction. We talked about immigration. We talked about all the issues that we are facing. And that was the conversations that I had with Alanna, that I had with EJ, that I had with Britt and it was important to me that I go to Las Cruces, which is in Doña Ana County. It's one of the poorest counties in America. And they are on the front lines of so many things. And I wanted to get to know people there, to meet people there. And so I really say I approached this not only as my first narrative film, but also as a documentary, and kind of doing the wonderful and gift of groundwork of research. And we went to like the scenes that we filmed in the clinic are actually, that is Community of Hope of Mesilla Valley. That is the office that works with people who are experiencing homelessness. They do that. Encampment is literally in the back of that. Like, so what you're seeing is literally is reality. It is what happens there. And so that was really kind of the approach that I wanted to, and that's why I wanted to work with these extraordinary actors. Like when I saw, Brittany's work, I was blown away by her just insane ability to hold so many different layers and has such a just ridiculous maturity of convey strength while vulnerability at the same time. Like, I mean, that is just, and then Alanna, I mean, come on. Like I've loaned Alanna since, Legally Blonde, Bombshell, and Euphoria. I mean, the raw, the incredible raw vulnerability that is just wrenches your heart was, I mean, I was dying to work with her. I mean, like all of these people that you see, like were my dream cast. And EJ, I mean, hate that guy. He just like when he came in the audition and he gave me no choice. You were so brilliant that like it was like, but that was it. Like what like I would love to explore with my work and what try to do is to like really kind of look at the humanity that we're not seeing, right? And these extraordinary, brilliant artists brought that humanity in spades, and I was just pinching myself every day to be able to work with them and bring this to life.
Yeah, definitely understood. You talked a little bit about your vision, your influence, but how did that affect you guys? Like, Pedro's, how did his approach affect your role and your overall execution of the film or for the film?
Uh, I'll say something. I felt safe and trusted, and I think that like for me, something else comes out of you when you're in a safe space that you didn't know maybe was in you to have. It makes it a lot easier to access whatever the story is actually about, whatever the character's really going through, whether you saw it in the first read or not. Pedro has this innate ability to make you feel like you're at home and you're in a safe space to let go of whatever you didn't even know you were holding on to. To me, that is why him as like a student of human behavior from a documentary standpoint is part of the reason why it's so special when you're filming a narrative, right? One of the things that you learn from like journalists is like you have to be a safe space, you have to actually care, and you have to be willing to listen to allow people the time and space to say their truth. The same is true on our set where he's like, I believe in you, I've given you everything you need, I'm already here to support you, go play. And for me, that trust leads to a lot of magic in this film.
Awesome. Anything from everybody else?
When I first met Pedro, it was via Zoom, and I had read the script and we had just an initial meeting about it, and he and I really just seemed to gel, artistically speaking. And when he was telling me that his vision was to make it as obscenely real as possible, that I thought this is going to be a lot of fun and a big challenge for me, because I wanted it to look like I wanted to make the audience feel like they were a fly on the wall spying on real people in a real situation. And I'm all about making it as raw and real as possible. So I thought this is going to be a really fun challenge for me. And after watching his documentary, I thought, oh, this is going to be incredible, because it's going to be a slow burn.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Movies that are just a slow burn. You're like, what is happening? Where is this going? And you just have absolutely no idea until the last minute. And I love that. I just love that.
And Brittany, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think that there's so much powerful energy on this job, and kind of piggybacking off of what Alanna said, you know, the rawness of this genre film, I think makes it so special. And that challenge of being grounded was really fun. And I think that's also what makes the film very powerful. And Pedro and the whole team, I think really grasped this authenticity of our environment, of the terrain, of each person's performance. I mean, everybody, it was easy to work with everybody because I just felt so moved by Pedro. I felt so moved by Camo. I felt so moved by Alanna. I felt so moved by EJ and their performances. And I felt like, kind of like what Alanna was saying, I felt like my character was also like a fly on the wall. So she's just seeing all these different people and their experiences and how do we navigate this world when people are impacted the way that they are, you know? I don't know. It's just like, oh my God. But it was super special. And yeah.
Well, it definitely digs into some like serious themes, and what you touched on was the authenticity, which was made me really curious. And Alanna, I know your background and your roles. There was a lot of scenes that felt very improv, and so I was kind of
They were
curious.
not.
They were
They
not.
weren't.
I
She's
mean,
that
She's that good.
we were sticking to that script. But well, because there is, I feel like it's kind of I don't know. The way I always see it is only if the director is telling you play around with it, whatever, then do it. But okay, first of all, Brittany and EJ are so playful. They're just so playful off camera that it looked like we were improvising. We were probably monkeying around a little bit just to get ourselves kind of carbonated. But oh my gosh, the most delicious little humans that I got to play with. Oh, and yeah, it's just so much fun. So much fun. But initially it was pretty much to as on script as possible, I think, just to yeah, you didn't want to give anything away. That's the one thing about this where you're like, I gotta stick to the script because if I say anything out of the ordinary, it's everything is in its place for a reason. Every line is there
Yeah.
for to kind of.
Alana's performance was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. I forgot my lines. Like I was like, I had to fix an ADR. I was so shook. I've never
Were you shook?
My spirit left my body. Like I was like, this was so terrifyingly good. I was like, I've never felt that way working with like it was all of us, like me and EJ just looked at each other, we're like,
yo,
do we
okay.
even know what we're doing?
You could have heard a pin drop on set the day, like literally the day that the couple days that we introduced the scene.
Holy fuck, man.
It was terrifying.
Because the blessing of my perspective in this is even when I'm in the scene, I'm behind the camera. And even if I'm not looking at them, I'm looking at the viewfinder. I'm watching performances live in a way that other actors never get to do unless they're on set.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, so I'm on the other side of camera, either giving Alanna a bit of a line if she wants it, but mostly I'm blown the fuck away at what I can't even tell is her doing on purpose or not.
It was scary. Scary.
There was a moment, I don't even know if it made it in the film because I hadn't seen it yet, where Alanna, you're preparing the food and your rag goes over the flame of the stove accidentally, as if you haven't cooked in a long time. And you're so nervous that Pedro and I looked at, she's gonna burn the house down, but let's film it. Go. It was absolutely
brilliant.
A master.
I can't cook. So there was no acting there, baby.
Well, actually, yes.
Go ahead, Pedro.
Well, I was gonna say we cast Alanna because she doesn't cook. No. That's there you go. Secrets out of the bag. That's what the film's about. Like her, she poisons everybody, and then you go. No, but it was one of the things that what I did ask for, which I think, it's not usual. I did ask for a rehearsal time with Britt and EJ, and we did have a week, and I wanted. it was less about like rehearsing scenes, but we did go over the script and we did rehearse scenes. But it was a kind of trying to make it lived in, really kind of like really bringing us together, as a also to bring us together as a little family, as a to develop a beautiful dance that the blending of EJ and Camo into the character of Danny, right? And Britt, you and I like kind of peeling all the layers. I mean, you're holding so many layers. Emily's holding so many layers in every moment.
The weight of the story is on her. It's keeping that big, huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say, but yeah, the weight of the world is certainly on her shoulders, and then we find out why. It's so wild.
Oh,
So
got it. These amazing people made doing this so easy, like easy, because you're not always this blessed with a cast. It's absolutely
yeah, you're when you're in a really small town and it's remote and you only have the cast to hang out with, etc., and you're just there for a while. You're missing your food, and you're missing your family and your girlfriend or your boyfriend. It's you start
first.
it,
Then
yeah, you've won the lotto if your castmates are cool and a good hang, because
Yeah.
you're with them all day long. So if there's no room for being a pain in the ass on an indie film, or else it's just you might as well just get like 100 grand and throw it over the side of the
Yeah.
405 freeway. There's no room for any of that. And Brittany and EJ they really do represent, and Pedro, this new generation of um of artists that really have their shit together. I mean, when I was their age, I was like worried about where I was going to bar hop that night and what guy I was seeing, and
Hell yeah.
but this
I love it.
generation, man, they are not fucking around, and it's awesome to see. It is incredible. It's chef's kiss.
Well, I
Just
couldn't
I can't.
I couldn't agree
No, go
more.
ahead.
And yeah, ultimately, you guys touched on it here a little bit, but I kind of want to wrap up with it too. What ultimately do you guys hope that audiences take away from this film, and how do you think viewers are going to kind of resonate with it? Because, like I said earlier, it is, there are some really serious themes here. And Alanna, a lot of people really don't. I mean, people do know you for these types of roles, but this is next level. I think this is one of those career making roles. And, same with you, with EJ and Brittany too. Pedro, I'm sure you've learned a lot from working with these guys. I mean, this is a great and incredible film, and I think something you guys should be proud of. So I'm excited to see what happens when this opens up to broader audiences, and kind of where your guys' headspace is at as well.
Awesome.
I hope you're right.
Around the God's ears, Jessie.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
But what do you guys hope the audiences get out of it ultimately?
I hope that people are, I hope they, I hope they feel the essence of Pedro through it and his intentions, because I saw Lead Me Home, his documentary about people experiencing homelessness on the West Coast, and I felt so touched by it. And you hear how people speak about communities of people they don't understand and how they're inconvenienced by it or afraid of other human beings and communities of people. And I just hope that people feel the rawness of humanity. That's what I hope.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
EJ, sorry, did I interrupt you?
You did not, no.
So
You like
I would love you to, please. No, like, listen, this was a really special experience in making the film, but I think for audiences, for me, hopefully, one, that they're engaged and go on the journey with Emily and Danny, and let themselves be taken on the journey. And I think one of the things about that I love about genre films is that it is a new perspective, a new way to look at our world, right? And ask questions. And I hope audiences not only ask questions about all the twists and turns of the film and kind of trying to piece it together afterwards, but hopefully to take a look at our world as well, right? And to see the humanity that we're not seeing right now, and to see that unseen humanity that we're losing on so many in so many places, you know. And I hope that we can, you know, begin to see that again. And you know, one of the things that about Lead Me Home that was shook me to making Lead Me Home shook me to my core was seeing life from the perspective of people who, you know, for so many different reasons experience homelessness at some point in their lives. And we all go through, you know, we all have twists and turns in our lives. And I think for me, it was kind of bringing a little bit that outsider's perspective. You know, it is very intentional that what the way you're looking through life is either from the eyes of Danny Martinez or Emily Wyland, two outsiders. And that is very intentional. And I hopefully people can maybe look at the world from an outside perspective. Sometimes that's very good and begin to question things. So.
EJ, you were saying something earlier.
Yeah, no, I guess, you know, I just can't help but keep like thinking about the amount of truth that's been told in this story. Like there are artists that like are good actors, and then there are people that like are trying to let something so honest come out that when you get to experience that, it's a blessing. It's why Brittany and Alanna made it so easy to like be involved and a spectator. And I think that there's so much, like Alanna, you mentioned that it's a slow burn, but I think that when something real is happening, you can't be bored. You're just along for the ride. I hope that people are so invested that they allow themselves to be taken away. I also think that like there's so much truth to be taken from this, whether it's literal or it taken as an allegory, because there's so much to this story that is a reflection of human behavior. It definitely holds a mirror up to you in so many ways. And so I'm immensely proud to even be a small part of it. I hope people allow themselves to be taken on this adventure. I think it's a worthwhile trip.
Alanna, final thoughts. It's all on you.
I think what's really wonderful about Las Cruces is, to me, it is one of the leads of the film. And Pedro really did embrace that the melancholy sort of energy that from a small town. When I first met him, we were talking about Wim Wenders, Paris, Texas. And I said, dude, if you don't hire me, then you better have at least someone who is going to basically oh gosh, I lost his name. Harry Dean Stanton the shit out of this role. That's what I said. Who he made it just look like everything. He really did embody the loneliness of a small town, and I think that's absolutely beautiful.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the film. Here at CineDump, we let the doers know how they're doing, and you guys are doing just fine.
Thank
I will
you.
see you in the next one.
Right on.
Thanks so much, Jessie. Thank you.